Welcome back into the lab. We're back once again. We gotta do our handshake every single time. Welcome back to All About Perspective podcast with the Dannies. What are we talking about today?
I thought you were going to go into like a tune.
Oh, no. No tune. What we're going to talk about today, we got to catch up on Cuba. We got to talk about the vaccine, COVID, sports. And we'll see where all that takes us by the end of it. So where you want to start off?
To talk about Cuba, I think I got to get worked up a little bit. So tell me what you were going to tell me the other day about the NFL.
Okay, hold on. I got the article here. I want to make sure that I get it
But you
precisely.
know it. You don't got to look. You got the microphones and you got the video out.
So I can get the exact amount.
Amount of what?
Of money that they're going to be fined.
Oh.
So the NFL, for their COVID-19 protocol, is going to fine any unvaccinated players $14,650 for every violation that they do. So $14,650.
Oh, okay.
All right. So that's if they were to break any of the COVID protocols for being unvaccinated. So that means like going out to dinner and like you'd have to they have like strict guidelines for you since you're unvaccinated.
Wait, so they're gonna fine them if they don't get vaccinated.
So the rules are harsher for the unvaccinated players. So for those that breach it, on top of missing a game, which I also think that would mean missing on your game check, you're also fined for breaking the protocol.
But they're not getting vaccinated. I mean,
if somebody who was vaccinated and got the same thing, they wouldn't get fined. They'll just miss the game and cut loose and then just move on to the next. But since they're not vaccinated, it's going to be a stricter punishment.
I know. I thought originally though that they were getting fined if they didn't get vaccinated by a certain deadline or something.
Oh no.
So it's just that they're basically restricted.
Yeah. So with that,
continue. What if they break a rule or not even break a rule, but do something that they're not supposed to, and a player who's vaccinated does the same exact thing, but doesn't get that. So then the punishment or the result, like the consequence, is not going to be the same just because one is vaccinated and one isn't?
Yeah, exactly.
That's fucking insane.
So in response to that rule, let me see. So DeAndre Hopkins, a wide receiver for the Cardinals, he said, "Never thought I would say this, but being put in a position to hurt my team because I don't want to partake in the vaccine is making me question my future in the NFL." And that when Charles Barkley came and let me see.
Good for you. All these NBA, NFL, all of them need to be fucking boycotted.
Then Charles Barkley had an opposite approach. He said, "Yes, I'm vaccinated. Everybody should be vaccinated, period. The only people who are not vaccinated are just assholes."
Who said that?
Charles Barkley.
Really?
Yeah. So he continues on to say, "Can you imagine if one of these guys that are not vaccinated, if they get one of these players' kids, wives, girlfriend, moms, and dads sick and they die over some unnecessary conspiracy bullshit? I think that would be tragic. There's shit you can't do at work, and there's shit that you have to do at work."
How is Charles Barkley gonna...
Wait, I'm not even done. There's shit you can't do at work, and there's shit that you have to do at work. So every workplace has rules, and I think one of the rules should be that guys have to be vaccinated. Go.
How is Charles Barkley going to complain about political correctness, and in that same breath talk about how if you're not vaccinated, you're an asshole? That all falls in within the same like point. The government telling you what to do, the government telling you like how to be. That's all the same thing. This is insane.
Bro, it's just like it's what happening in Cuba.
Putting something into your body, though. This is putting something into your body.
Yeah.
Like
it's proven not to work, by the way.
It's proven not to work.
So we're going to get into that.
The fact that people like Charles Barkley or anybody else is standing up in support of it, knowing that Dr. Fauci and any of those experts, they don't even know. They don't even know. Because that's like my
she's getting worked up.
Nah, that's where I'm trying to act. That's me trying to calm down. So that it doesn't go higher than that.
Bro, look at these levels. And they're jumping out the screen.
Damn, I'm so sorry, y'all, if you're listening with headphones. No, but like seriously. This is crazy.
No, I know. Like I get it. You're breaching protocol and this and that, but that's a hefty fine. And then to come out and say that
No, but
they're
good
assholes
for him.
for taking upon themselves for not. Because I mean,
What's his name? The one that said that he's reconsidering his future
DeAndre
in the
Hopkins.
I mean, good for him that he wasn't afraid to say that and stand up for himself.
No, exactly, and that it goes to my point is, it's proven is not working.
Question.
They're carrying, the people who are vaccinated are carrying a stronger version of COVID than those that are not. So why if you know this, why are we still pushing the vaccine for what? Like,
It's just
not
that's
doing
the
anything.
thing, and we don't.
Because now we got the Delta variant, so now they have to get another vaccine. Like, let's just wait until it all comes out, and then we make a vaccine for that.
But my point is that we don't have to go into the specifics, because let's just think generally. This, if you don't think about the facts and because we really don't know it, and not even the experts. So let's just put all that like Delta variant and whatever aside on the vaccine. We're telling people what to do with their bodies.
In essence,
Medically, like I understand when you go to school, you got to get certain vaccines, and when you go to, but those vaccines took years to really develop and know the most about it. Like so. And even then, I don't get it. Knowing that now we're in an age of misinformation. Why are we so quick to jump? And that's why, and that's where I feel like society is gonna fail every single time. We fight for one thing, whether it be justice or equality, right? But then as soon as the government says, you need this is good for you, and this makes you a good citizen.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
We trust it. You're right.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I was doing so good, but you're telling me it's going to be easier doing this? For sure.
Like, don't you know that the causes that you were fighting for before that were the government's, you were technically against the government doing something or not doing something. Like, at this point, we should all agree that we shouldn't trust so easily.
Well, every person in this world has had an instance that somebody has abused their trust. But we're giving this trust blindly to these elected officials and just say, oh yeah, no, these people are special because they're not they have their own interest in mind.
Everyone has
sure it's easy for the people, whatever, this and that, but they ran on their own values.
Just
so whenever you get there,
you're talking about, right? Like just
in general,
friends, family, like just
or
in
even
real life.
Elected officials, like all of it.
Okay, yeah. So that goes back to that. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
They all have their own personal agendas. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
I got lost a little bit when you were talking because of.
Always, bro. Always.
No, I understood it. I was just like, before I lose it, this is what you're saying? No, but yeah, I don't.
And what's being spoken about Cuba, though? Nothing. Not a peep. Not anymore.
But see, this is the thing. It's like I don't expect people to constantly be talking about Cuba because that's just something that from the beginning I knew that it was gonna be a long journey. Like this is gonna be for a while. Like this fight is gonna be. It's been a fight for 62 years, and you think that in just a couple of months, it's gonna be fixed?
Not at all.
So that's why I don't expect.
But no coverage.
Oh no! But there's never been coverage like that by the mainstream media. You got Fox News, but then it would be on Hannity that covered Maria Elvira and Marco Rubio and Ron DeSantis in Miami at the Versailles restaurant. He covered them there, and a couple of them are covering but it all again is because they're in support of it. Or the news is conservative, but you won't never catch no Democrat or liberal highlighting what's going on in Cuba and then Cuban supporters here in Miami in the U.S. You're not gonna catch that.
So has there been any updates in terms of
people are obsessed with talking about COVID, especially them, the Democrats on their side. They're obsessed with talking about COVID, and I hate to bring labels into this because then it's gonna show that I'm it's gonna probably. People are gonna think that I'm biased or whatever, but I'm just, it's a fact. It's like, look at the Democrats, look at the Republicans, and look and you'll see who's talking about what the most. And it's clear as day. It's a fact. It's not even a thing that comes from an opinion. And they're obsessed with COVID. Absolutely obsessed. There's so much more going on in the world, and we're constantly talking about it. It's just ridiculous. Cases up and down, up and down, up and down. At one point, give up. Like, we don't really know. We don't know the numbers anymore. We don't know anything like that anymore.
And then that leads to the mistrust in all of it. And that's why, leading back to the original point where we started, is nobody trusts the vaccine.
But the thing is, you can trust it if you want, and then you don't have to trust it if you don't want to.
Same way that if you want to wear a mask, you wear a mask. If you don't want to wear a mask, then don't wear a mask.
Now they're saying, what are they saying now?
That they're gonna start a new CDC guideline to wear masks, and now the vaccinated people got to wear masks indoors. So what was the whole point of getting the vaccine?
Now vaccinated.
We're all back. We're all back to square one. So I don't even know what the whole point of pushing this vaccine was about.
And I feel like people are so obsessed with the whole circle. Yeah. People are so obsessed with the whole, wear a mask, get vaccinated, wear a mask, get vaccinated, because they're trying to be the good people, like the good Samaritans. They're caring about everyone else. So they're putting themselves first, and they're sacrificing themselves if they have to, just to keep others safe. Right. That sounds good and all. But you didn't care about that before when you were up here, just like putting junk in your body. And then going to your grandma's house. Like, get out of here. Everything is so simple. Life is so simple.
I feel like you're talking about somebody specifically there.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about a whole population. There's a lot of motherfucking people that are exactly the same, that I see it all the time on social media or anywhere. Like, they're so obsessed with making themselves look like they're just good citizens, and that they care so much for other people. So they're putting themselves, like, they're sacrificing themselves so that they don't put people at risk by getting vaccinated or wearing the mask. But it's like, we didn't care about that before in other forms. Life is actually really simple. Like, you take care of yourself from the beginning, and you take care of your immune systems. And obviously there's exceptions, there's conditions, there's genetics. We all get that. And we've never argued that if you are, if you have a pre-existing condition, if you have a record of having a low immune system, and if you're elderly, you should, get vaccinated. And we've all agreed that they are and I'm still not telling those people get vaccinated. I'm just saying that I wouldn't judge if they do get vaccinated. And I've never argued that they are the most vulnerable, right? But me, I don't feel bad not getting vaccinated. I've been around my grandparents, and I would visit them all the time. And I had that confidence to do that, because I know that I've been taking care of myself. Even if I go out and expose myself, I know how the immune system in the body works. And the solution here is to inform yourself as an individual, as an independent, so that you really understand how things work. Because then we get caught up in society and how it's going to be evolving. And now people are coming up with different theories, new technology, new this and new that. And it's all just more money, more power, more power, more power. We're losing the, just
the side
simple
of our individuality.
Yeah, and the simple explanation of how things work. We've complicated everything ourselves. So we just need to understand that. We wanted
things easier, but we ended up making things more complicated.
Yeah. Like, all these things, we've created it. We're the only people on this earth. Humans are the only people, or animals too, but you know what I mean. Mammals. We're
on this earth.
On this earth. But, and we have just been complicating it. And that comes from outside factors, obviously, because you got the power, you got the money, so technology and all that. It's all, I don't know if I'm making sense, but it's because I can see it in my head.
I can see it too.
Yeah, it's just adding. The more you add, the more complicated things get. Because if the more that you add, then you're creating
literally
more
taking
problems.
my point that I said the other day when we were talking about the jobs.
I'm not taking your point, because I always think this.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, you're taking my format when I was talking about jobs the other day to this. If you add more, something's gonna have to.
Oh, with just working and not doing what you love and all that. Yeah, the more that we add, the more problems we create, and the more solutions we have to create. But what if we hadn't added all this before? Think about it. Just don't even think about anything specific while I'm saying that. Just think about it. What if we had never added anything? We'd still have we'd have what we had before. Nothing else would have, no complications. I don't know how to. And I'm not even thinking about something specific. I'm just thinking I'm breaking it down in the simplest form. I always do that to be able to really understand.
Yeah, but you lost me there. Just imagine if we had nothing.
I didn't say that. I said, imagine if we hadn't added anything, like
But what would you
added a new
consider
iPhone
added?
or added a new, like you wouldn't need to top it because you hadn't added anything. You hadn't tried to.
Yeah, but then if that's the case, then
Obviously, we have to evolve.
the computer would stop at the computer, so it would never reach the iPhone.
I know. Obviously, there's good, and this is what I'm trying to say. There's good and there's bad. There's things that are just happen that they're out of our control and they're just meant to happen. And then there's things that are in our control because we still have the right and the freedom to believe or not believe. Do you understand?
I understand what you're trying to say.
Forget about translating it. If they get it, they get it. They don't, they don't.
No. I'm trying to get it. I understand what you're trying to say, but I'm just trying to get your thought process in getting there.
So basically, technology, right? It has to evolve.
Okay.
It has to modernize. I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
We don't know exactly why, but it just has to, right? That's just, life just goes up. Life just moves forward. We're not going backwards, right? So with moving forward comes new advances, new discoveries, new experiments. And while that is like, we know that that's just what has to happen because that's just how it's supposed to be, we also know that that just creates more problems. Because anytime you have something new, that comes with its own problem and that comes with its own solution.
But back to the original point, though, is you said imagine if we had no add-ons. So we would never
We'd still
get
be out here picking stuff.
That's what I'm saying. So we would never get to the more we get, the more problems we get. Because it would never, like, if we had no add-ons, we would have just the fire. Like, just theoretically speaking. Like, when man created fire. Like, after that, it added on. Like, just life happened after that. They're able to cook their meal. They're able to keep more. Like, life added on to that.
Yes.
So we had no add-ons. We'd be stuck in that just fire because there'd be nothing more that's translated from it.
Well, I'm not talking about from the very beginning of life.
See, you're talking about simplifying it, but I like totally simplify
Yeah,
it.
you did too much. Let's go back. I mean, let's go forward a little bit more. Don't go all the way back.
So at what point do you stop adding on?
So that's where I was going to get at. It's a good thing that we got to that point. We may have sound stupid and absolutely ridiculous, but it helped us get to the point. Like, when do we stop? When is enough enough? When is it that we have enough technology and the one that's like what we have is perfectly okay? We keep creating a problem to be able to find a solution, and that solution brings a new product or a new,
I wonder how many people are lost right now.
That's fine.
They got like the whole graph out like a manifest and just like, so no add-on, but then we have to stop and go backwards. And
I don't think it sounds complicated. I think we're just worried about how it'll sound out on the outside, but I don't think it's that complicated. Like, these are things that we just sit.
So say it in 10 words or less. Explain your whole point in 10 words or less.
If we want to, we will always find a problem.
That's it. That's 10 words. And we always want to, we'll always find a problem. Quote, print. That's what every girl says.
Actually, that makes sense.
That's what every girl says. Exactly. If you want, we can always have a problem.
No, if we want to, we'll always have a problem.
Women, you hear that?
Bro, that
Men,
makes sense.
do you hear that? If women want to, they will always have a problem. That's it. We solved the life with that
Also,
quote
wait, why are
right
you trying to twist this right here? Like, what is this? But it's true, though. That makes sense. Actually, that's okay.
That's okay.
That's enough. But I just think that we don't have to complicate it. No, we really don't, because it's about just everyone having the option, right? And so this is, I say all that to say, things will...
We're finally getting to the end.
There will always be those people that are going to create new problems and new solutions. And there's just going to be something new and new and new and new and new and new constantly, all this noise. But just remembering that we have the power to choose and just kind of protecting that power and that right to always have options and to always choose. That is the most important thing, to remember that we have to fight for that right to choose. That's what I'm trying to say. Because that's going to happen, Whoever's in control of that we don't know, but we have to support the right to choose.
That's all you got to say.
Well, with that, because we can keep talking about COVID, Delta virus. We just have to remember that solid point.
And what was that again?
And I can't. No, I'm not gonna look at it. And I can't imagine anyone like not agreeing with that.
Yeah.
But then there are people that disagree with that, so it's crazy.
But you can also use that point also to the point, like I said the other day. I'll repeat it now just for conversation's sake. But it's basically just the whole idea of having a job. Like somebody, like everybody doesn't like most people don't like their job per se. And when people have free time, they tend to waste the time in finding something that you enjoy to do. All right. So the most basic example is probably sounding like, what is he talking about? But the most basic example was COVID. For a lot of people, they were on full go, make money, pay bills, pay off debt, travel. Like their life was on full go before COVID. With everybody, like when COVID hit, the world came to a stop for like about a good solid 4 or 5, maybe 6 months. The world was basically at a stop unless you were a doctor or the world was at a stop. That was the perfect time for people to find out what they're truly passionate about, what they truly want to do to make themselves happy, not today, not tomorrow, happy today, tomorrow, and 10 years from now. Every day, 10 years from now. What's something that you will wake up wanting to do every day? And I feel like for the most of us, we've wasted that opportunity and that chance to find something that you're passionate about. So back to my perspective, the way that I see it is there's 24 hours in a day, right? And everybody wants to do all this stuff. Oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to travel. I want to learn a new hobby. I want to read. I want to hike. I want to go to the beach. Whatever activity, like extracurricular activities you want to do, you have, for those of you that work, you have 9 hours a day that is already blocked off for work.
Yeah.
You have 8 hours of work and 1 hour of getting ready and driving of some sort. So roughly like about 9 hours for most. Then you have another 8 hours of sleep. Right, so that's 17 hours.
Yeah.
So then that only leaves you 7 hours in a day to do everything that you want to do. For those of you that have a partner, right, you want to spend time with your partner, make sure the relationship doesn't slack. You have, for me, I have a podcast. You have your Instagram. You have your photography, your study. That's 2 hours right there. So that's already, 3 to 4 hours that you have to then do all the stuff that you want to do. And that's if you don't have date night. That's if you don't go out to party. That's if you like whatever, like not if you go on a hike, not if you go to the lake or to the beach.
Yeah.
So when do you have that time to better yourself, to make a better future, to get something striving? If you're not getting it where you're spending your place at 9 hours a day, like that's the opportunity. You have the most time and you're wasting on doing something that you don't like and enjoy.
And to add to that, we already have a job that takes so much from us, from our life, that
you come home and you don't want to do anything for like an hour.
Right. And when we get out of work, we're trying to escape the fact that we got to go back to work again, or whatever job the work brings us, any stress or.
And if you had a bad day, you're taking that home with you.
Yeah, like so. When do you really have time for yourself?
So then that ruins the rest of your night, like.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing something that you like, if you're not doing something that you enjoy, then what did you do with the time that everybody else had? And then to take all that point and bring it into, like, let's make it a little political and stuff. Damn, I lost where I was going.
I don't know where you were going to go. I was about to say, like, what they got to do with anything? I mean, it all has to make sense, but.
Oh, well, there you go. So I remember. Now, bringing it back to political, that's why most people want everything handed out for them. They want handouts. They want the unemployment. They want the equality. They want the equal pay. They want all this stuff. Nobody's wanting to work for anything.
And we're easy to trust the government. We easily trust the government or trust anyone that has authority or a higher title than you because we're so used to doing that just with work, when we're clocking into work every day. We're already becoming like we're already sheep. So it's something that we have to do, but then take that into the way that we think.
Like there is discrimination and there is biases and there is all of that, but for the most part,
we're okay.
You control your own fate. Like I
Right.
said, there's exceptions, but majority.
And like I said, sometimes politicians create a problem on purpose because that solution brings money or power, or a solution. Sometimes they start thinking with the solution
for problems.
before the problem. And that's what their whole career is. And I'm not saying every politician, right? We're talking about the corrupt. We're talking about the deep state. We're talking about the people that we don't even know their names or how they look like, but we just know they have power. And it's like you're naive to think that that's just in movies or shows. Shows and movies get that idea from real life. The idea is from real life. They might exaggerate a little bit, but
Yeah, like Blacklist. That's one that I can name, and other stuff that you see how corrupt and messed up things are.
the conversation. This is how we sound like when we're alone.
Yeah, I mean,
All confused.
yeah,
But we
create more problems than solutions.
nah. Now it sounds like a problem because we have to work all the way back.
Yeah,
But it's not really a problem. And with the Cuba thing, like I said, people don't have to consistently talk about it. I just think that it's embedded in their minds, this lesson that we can learn as citizens. Because right now, no U.S. citizen can do anything for Cuba, right?
are we learning anything from it though?
I don't know. But what I'm saying is that Cubans need to fight for their own country and for their own independence, just like we had to do years ago. And
Did we mention the Black Lives Matter, which apparently that wasn't a thing, right? The Black Lives Matter.
No, we
post
found out with the Black Lives Matter. We found out the Black Lives Matter, like what they posted and all that after.
Oh snap! That's right.
Black Lives Matter is showing their true colors.
They're showing their hand.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, some celebrities. All them people are showing their true colors. The socialists are being exposed. And Cuba has always done this. Anytime you talk to somebody about Cuba, it shows how ignorant or smart they are or how socialist or not socialist they are. Every single time it exposes people. So I'm glad that a lot more people are talking about Cuba. And the mainstream government is talking about Cuba because it really has exposed a lot of them. Black Lives Matter, everyone blaming the U.S. embargo, which is not it's not the case. The U.S. embargo is not the cause for the oppression communist regime in Cuba at all. And I don't want to go into that. That would be a whole video.
That's another topic for another day.
A whole other topic for another day if people want to know, right? And plus, I did a whole video on this. And at this point, you can find out on your own. Because there's a lot of Cubans yelling this. And if this many Cubans are saying this, they know. They've lived it. The embargo is not the reasoning for all that's going on. The Castro regime is in 100% control of everything that's been going on with the Cuban people. So the fact that Black Lives Matter, an organization that has been so loved by so many, is exposing themselves and just blaming the U.S. and the U.S. embargo, like any opportunity that they get, they definitely have a personal agenda to just be against the U.S. at any term. So it's like, yeah, like it's obvious. And so organizations are dangerous. And so just, I don't know how people are still supporting. Like I said it, and I did the video on our Instagram. It's not about the cause. It's about the organization. Black Lives Matter could still be a thing. It could still be a message. It could still be a point that people want to get across.
But the fact that the fact that you're donating money into the organization and where the paper trail of that money actually, like the hands that that paper trail of money actually falls in.
When you log into the Black Lives Matter website, the first thing you see is the numbers adding up of how much money they're raising.
Yeah.
For what? Where's this money going? Though they could say whatever it's going to, but is it true?
It's going to the cause that they're trying to fund.
The cause I mean,
The socialist cause that they're trying to fund.
it's a socialist cause because that money goes directly
They're
to
basically
Act
saying,
Blue.
like, look, Cuba was good at some point, but they went wrong, and we know where they went wrong, and we could do better. Is what they're trying to push.
Yeah, because they're trying to push the democratic socialism. Democratic socialism that does not exist at all. There
They
is
just
no
said
way.
that's what that Castro did, that he would like change the way that something sounds just to make it sound better.
Well,
Even though he would say like exactly what he was trying to do or something like that.
he always said he wasn't a communist,
Yeah, that's what it was.
but he said he was socialist. And then he ended up being a communist because in order to have a socialist economy, you can't be a democratic. You can't. There's no way, because socialist economy, it needs a centralized power because you're making everyone equal. So there's no debate. There's no like House of Representatives, and there's no Senate. Like
It's not like everybody comes up and becomes equal. It's that everybody comes down.
No, everybody comes down. Absolutely, everyone comes
Yeah.
down.
Like they make it sound as if everybody's gonna come up. Like everybody's gonna go down.
Equal.
Their pocket's gonna go up.
Bet.
Their pocket's gonna go up.
Of course. But we gonna be equal and rich? Bet. Like, let's go. but even that, though, it just can't happen. Because competition needs to exist in order to preserve the individual freedom of everyone. So it's like, it's common sense. If you have to make everyone equal in a socialist economy, you don't need all these different opinions. For what? We're all gonna just be the same. So that needs one person or just a small group of people to have power. And you really want to give that? There's no such thing as a democratic socialism. There's certain states that are a little bit socialist with their like welfare programs and all that stuff. And you need a little bit of that, right? But when you're talking about the federal government being socialist, like the country's economy being socialist, that just can't happen. And you cannot compare this country to Denmark, which everyone loves to do. They even say they're not socialist. Like, you just can't compare because it's different demographics. Like, those things need to be taken into account too. I just wondered, like, if these people preaching socialism or democratic socialism, did they like really, I would say, did they really read a book? But those college textbooks don't even make sense. Like, it really is just common sense. And the best teacher, and everyone says it too, is to travel. That's the best school.
Yep, you truly learn perspectives that way. Like, you see how cultures do things, how people move. Even moving from state to state, you get a better feel.
Even state to state.
Like, you get a better feel. And then depending on where you live, even city to city, there's a different vibe.
Right. And it's not just about...
Just move. Don't stay in one little niche. Like, figure it out. Like, get out there. Like, mingle and
it's just not a...
travel.
But when you travel, you learn about different cultures, right? But what about learning the different economies and the different types of government? You can, learn that too and take from what you can and like the whole point, like right now in your individual life, you think about your past and you reflect on those lessons so that you don't repeat the past again. It's the same thing with history and with the present. Like, look at the different, we're all one world, one life. And so think of a country as this little small individual compared to all these other countries.
Motivational. What did Matthew McConaughey say about this world?
I don't know.
Or this nation?
I don't know. I don't remember. Somebody said that, right, to us?
Matthew McConaughey said that our country's very young.
Oh, like our country's very young. That's right. He did say that. We're just starting because there's so many other countries that are way older, like European countries and all that. Yes. I thought you were, because somebody mentioned something to me that Matthew McConaughey said the other day. And I thought it was that, but you weren't there with me. I don't think so. It was like at work. Shut up. But anyways, so.
At work?
No, not work. What was it? It was at like an interview. Shut up.
Yeah, sure.
It was at an interview.
An interview, yeah, for sure.
No, it was the photographer the other day, remember?
You don't even know, man.
No, but seriously, it was the photographer. I didn't even know, but it was the photographer the other day, remember?
Sure.
Our photographer. He said it. Babe.
Continue on your point.
Agree, though.
Agree.
So, and that was a great point. Just imagine that our country is just this individual and all these other countries are other people. And like, they're like, yo, we're in charge of this world. Like, instead of being against each other or whatever, like, let's learn from each other. Let's let each other run their country how they want, but learn. Use each other as an example. And Cuba's a huge island, the biggest island in the Caribbean. So, I mean, obviously it's not as big as our country, but it's a good, like, reference point. Especially the way that it was before Castro, which it was a capitalist economy with a corrupt president. But it was a capitalist economy and people were able to own their businesses and have careers and make money and trade and make business. Like, they were still allowed to do that. And that just goes to show that you can have the corruption in a country, but if you use, like, if there's like an economy that allows for people to have the choice to use their money how they want, that preserves freedom. So your well-being and all that, that's up to you. Don't look to the government for that. We're looking to the government for too many personal issues, and that's what's going to lead us to, that's what leads so many people to wanting socialism, because they think that the government's supposed to fix all those stuff. So I just hope, to close that off, I just hope that people learn.
To close it all off.
Yeah, to close it all off. I hope that people learn from what's going on in Cuba. I don't expect people to constantly be like, SOS Cuba, SOS Cuba, hashtag SOS Cuba. I don't expect people to constantly be talking about Cuba, because I already know how this country works and how this generation, all these generations, millennial, Gen Z, Gen X, whatever the heck, I know how it works. They advocate for something or they post something just because it's becoming popular on social media and they forget about it. I know how it is. I didn't expect people to just be so committed to this issue, but I hope the lesson sticks with them. You know, you can't just expect people to be into politics all like, you know, that quickly.
It's exhausting, man.
It is exhausting, but it's simple if you just look at things without any other opinion and bias and just look at things from a common sense point of view, but also common sense isn't also common. So
like I heard the other day, it was a podcast that they said that, what was it? Nobody hates politics in sports. They hate the opposing view in sports. So like if you think the opposite of Black Lives Matter or whatever, like you don't want that to be portrayed in sports. And the examples that they use is they would have Breast Cancer Awareness Month and everybody would be wearing pink. But then when they had whatever it was that like nobody, like Black Lives Matter, like that was an outrage and that was all this other stuff. I don't care if it's the same view or the opposing view. Like it's just a lot sometimes. It is,
but it also it's
no
all
escape.
in your face.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Because
like I don't really care for whichever. I just don't. It's so much in our day-to-day lives. There's no escape. At least mask it, or I don't know.
The thing is, it's not masked. Like I said, there's people that are realizing now they've even changed their political views because of the Cuba situation. Let me just leave it with this. Joe Biden, when he did the message, when he put out that public message about Cuba, he not once used the word socialism. And neither did he use communism. He used the words Cuban regime. That's it. Because it's not in their favor, and it's not in favor of their personal agenda to use those words, because they want to use those in the future for their own agenda. So, done.
Is that it?
Yep, 40 minutes.
Anything else you want to say? Get it all out now. Get that last sip in and then say it all. Because once we end this, I don't want to hear no talking about this.
I'm done after this.
So you got nothing else to say?
No. Let me know what you think down below.
Comment, share, like.
Seriously, we don't want to have these conversations alone.
Need a bigger following. See who wants to come through. We actually have to, after the whole, all our personal stuff that we got to do, we got to get out there and get, some.
Give some love to my parents that did that episode before this one because it was hard for them to do emotionally.
That was a really good episode.
And the way that they talked, let me just tell you, that's not how they really talk.
I'm going to let you finish. No, you could go.
I'll add to that. Like, the hell? Who are y'all? Like, they be yelling and getting emotional when they talk about Cuba. So the fact that they were able to sit down, just keep that in, and just really focus on trying to get that message out clearly to anyone who's listening, like, that took a lot out of them, but they did it very well. So go show them some love. And yeah.
So if you're watching on YouTube, like I said, make sure to share, comment, like. Let's get them views up, get them shares up, get them likes up. If you're streaming this, make sure to download, share as well, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. All About Perspective Podcast on Instagram. And thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of All About Perspective. It's the Danny signing off, wishing y'all much love, great health. Stay blessed. Peace.